And action, 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 action. Everybody record, action. Right, let's go. Cool. So I showed you grouping, showed you gain staging, showed you how to get signal from the desk right into, from Pro Tools right into the desk. Now we're gonna do on how to get signal into the headphones, right? So we are gonna be indulging in this section here, this Q masters here, and basically here, right? Now, in this case, just for demonstration purposes, the main aim right now is to show you how to send signal from the desk to the headphones of an individual. But we're not going to physically go to the booth. I'm going to show you by soloing these channels here, these ones and this ones, right? Channel, the Q mix channels or the Q channels, which is QA and QB, right? I'm going to solo them and they are going to be playing what I am sending to the artist, right, in their ears. Because when I solo this, basically I'm telling the desk, reroute whatever I am sending to the artist, right, to the control room, so I can hear it in the control room, so I can be able to check what am I sending, at what level am I sending it to the artist, am I happy in terms of what they're hearing, or if they are happy with what they're hearing, and I can also reduce it, and I can also hear what they're hearing. So as I've soloed, right, yes, it's routing it to me in the control room, but it's also routing it to the artist, right? So if I press play now, right, you're hearing that basically, right? You're hearing signal that is basically coming to, you're hearing signal that is basically coming out of the control room, right? So that means there is already signal going through via the mix. So, via the mix. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna make sure that my Q mixes are all down. Let's just make sure of that. Just bring my Q mixes down. That's fine. Then I'm gonna switch off mix here. That's what you were hearing when I press play. So you shouldn't hear anything right now. That's why when I press play now, you can see on Pro Tools that there is signal playing, but it's not coming through. And the reason why is because I've soloed here now, right? And I've disengaged the mix, right? So now anything that I send to the artist will start playing, right, through the speakers because I've soloed it here, right? So anything I send through QA and QB will go straight into the mix, or will come through the control room, right? Okay, cool. Let me just make sure that I've got my stuff on point. There we go. And that's QA and QB in this case. Now I'm going to press play. Then I want to send my drums to the artist. So I'm going to come up here, right? Channel number gain 17, 18. Then I'm going to press on pre for both, right? Let me just pre that and pre that. Then that's channel number 17 and 18. Then you're going to start hearing my drum kit because you're going to start hearing my drum kit. Sorry, guys. You're going to start hearing my drum kit because I'm sending it to the artist, right? So here we go. As you can see, there we go. There we go. Right? So how I can prove that I am basically sending it to the artist is literally switching off the solo here and pressing play. So I'm going to switch off the solo here. There you go, right? I've switched off the solo, so I'm just going to do it this side again. There you go, drum kit, right? So now if I wanna send the bass, right? Or let's skip the bass. Let's send on channel number 21 and 22. Let us send the keys to the artist. Maybe the artist wants to hear keys. Same thing again. I'm gonna go to A and B for both of my channels and send it towards the artist. It's important again to press pre. The reason why you press pre, guys, just to remember this, the reason why you press pre is so that it goes there pre-fader, right? Meaning that it's independent of what you do on your faders, right? So as I'm sending it now, it's pre on the drums, right? So I can literally bring down my drum, but you still hear it. Right? That's why we send it pre, so that the artist is not affected by the levels we set in the control room. And you just saw proof of that, right? Cool. So now I'm gonna send my keys. And this is how I've made sure that my artist is receiving the keys that they requested at the level that they want to, right? I can now then play around with the volume knob here to reduce it if I want to for the artist, and tell them, okay, is that fine for your ears? Obviously using my talkback, but in this case we're just concentrating on what's going on in terms of the Q mix. And then that's basically how you send signal towards the artist on the Q mix, right? Similar concept applies now for, I'm just going to unsolo that. Similar concept applies for effects also, right? In this case, what I'm going to do is basically now send it to my effects, which are a reverb in this case, right? So I want to choose an instrument that I know doesn't have much going on to it. So I'm going to solo my snare, right? So the only thing you should be hearing coming through my mix bus, so I'm going to press mix there. So that comes into my main mix bus. There we go. Is my snare. Right, I'm just going to raise that up a bit so you can hear it much more clearer. As you can hear, there's literally not much reverb going on. And I want to add reverb into my snare, right? Into my mix basically in its entirety, but just for my snare in this case. So in this case, I've just got my snare soloed, and it's the only thing that's playing through my sub, right? So that means then that's the only thing that's currently coming through my desk is the snare, right? Because it's going from here and then Audeint out of 17 and 18 into the desk on the tape long faders, right? So that we can get an effects going in. Now, here's the trick with the effects. Effects, on the other hand, use aux channels in this case, right? 1 and 2 will be for the the compressor, sorry, and then 3 and 4 will be for the reverb. So I'm going to be using aux number 3 and 4, not 1 and 2, sorry guys. I'm going to be using aux number 3 and 4, again, simply because my signal is stereo. This is why I'm using 3 and 4, 2 channels. Reverb is also a stereo type of effect, so you want 2 channels. So it's going to go from this long fader, right, into my aux 3 and 4, then into my reverb unit, which we've got an reverb unit on that side. I'll try get a picture of it and a video on it so that you guys can see it. And then from there back into my stereo effects. This is my effects return channel, and I'm going to use effects return number 2 simply because it's connected physically to effects return number 2. My reverb is connected to effects return number 2. Right, and then I'm going to press on mix here so that it actually comes through into my mix bus right here. To send, because I'm sending it to 3 and 4, this area here on top of the desk is the area for your aux tracks. You can see it aux 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 9, 10, 11, 12. I think you've got 12 buses on the desk. Okay. On channel number 17 and 18, I am going to go straight into 3 and 4 just to push it into the reverb. 3 and 4 for my aux tracks, right? So channel 3 and 4, so channel number 17, sorry, aux 3 and 4, I've increased in volume. And then again on channel number 18, 3 and 4, I've increased its volume for the aux so that I am sending the signal to the aux tracks right here. And they are on max. That means now they should be going into the reverb, right? So we should be able to start hearing the reverb once I press play. But I think there's some couple of steps we're going to take first before we get there. Right, so I've got it going on here. What's important about the aux area that you need to identify is that the aux area is also by default routed to the long fader, right? So if you want to add effects on anything that's on the short fader, you have to press SF that is associated with that channel and that aux track. So it's very important. Again, read the manual, guys. It will help you out effectively. This is literally just a physical demonstration, but the manual will definitely help you out easily. Right, cool. So now I'm sending it to my reverb, right? And currently you're not hearing any reverb because reverb is down here. It's being switched down. So again, as you can see here, you're not hearing any reverb simply because it's on negative infinity here, and then no mix has been pressed. So I'm going to press mix and I bring on the reverb. Now you're hearing the reverb coming through, right? Woo! That's a lot of reverb, as you can hear, right? That's a lot of reverb that I've got going on here. I haven't actually messed with the settings of the reverb and stuff. Let me just grab the camera for you guys so I can show you. There you go. So guys, as you can see, this is the reverb unit right here. Literally receiving signal from the snare. There we go. And it's bringing back the reverb into the desk. Right, there you go. Just to show you guys that. There we go. Reverb running through. And then I'm just gonna move this side so I can show you guys my effects, right? Okay, so that's my effects return number 2. If I bring that down, you're only hearing the signal, the main signal of the reverb. If I bring that up, you're hearing the effects of the reverb, right? There we go. Cool. And I can cut it. If I cut it, no signals coming through. There we go. If I bring it back up, raise it up. If I take it off the mix and then raise it up, you see that? That means it's not going to my mix bus. And there we go. Then I can bring it up again. Okay, cool. Right. Yeah. Awesomeness. Right. I think that basically concludes our tutorial towards the desk. Thank you again to SAE Johannesburg for giving us the time and space to be able to talk and speak about this desk, break it down. It is a fun desk to use once you know how to use it. But I would advise again, guys, please, by any means necessary, please read the manual for yourself. It's going to be effective. It's going to be helpful. And then another thing, the track that you've been hearing here has been produced by yours truly. So Music is. By the time this video comes out, this song should be available on all the streaming platforms that you have ever seen. That exist and stuff. But you'll be able to find the link to the song in the description down below. There's no description right now, but when I'm done editing, it will be down below. Down there, down there. You just need to go to the description and then click on that link and then go enjoy the jam. It's going to be beautiful.